What's up, everybody? True Seeker here. This video is brought to you by my tip jar. It's the only thing keeping this channel alive, actually. So if you want to tip it a buck or two, just click the link below in the description and it'll take you right to the page. And thank you to everybody that has already supported. Now moving forward, in a tweet that has gone largely ignored by the mainstream media, Parcels said over 90,000 kids were detained under the Obama admin and no one cared. Zero Hedge reports what followed was a barrage of angry tweets and an attempt by the AP prove claim false by conflating two narratives, the first being that Trump is putting separated migrant children in prison-like conditions, which the left quickly abandoned after it was revealed the viral photographs depicting the caged migrant children actually happened under Obama. The claim then morphed into an outrage over the Trump administration separating 20% of minors who enter the country from their parents, around 2,000 kids, while ignoring the fact that the Obama administration was also separating children from their parents, while widespread abuse of detained migrants under previous administrations was reported by the ACLU and the University of Arizona. One woman interviewed was detained for nearly a month in CADC while she was 6 months pregnant. She was shackled during transport to and from the facility. At the facility, she was denied monitoring or treatment for an ovarian cyst that posed a risk to her health and the fetus, and received no response to her request for prenatal vitamins or extra padding for her bed. Another woman interviewed was separated from her breastfeeding baby daughter, who was less than 2 months old, while she was detained in Eloy for 2 weeks. University of Arizona, and among those findings are that women did not receive adequate medical or mental health care, were often mixed together with women serving criminal sentences, and were often transferred from faraway states. In most cases, researchers found that women were separated from at least one child. Also overlooked is the fact that 80% of children entering the United States are separated from their parents when they're shoved across the border with a human trafficker, and that migrants can seek asylum in the United States through one of the several U.S. consulates in Mexico. The previously silent left became suddenly outraged after President Trump's zero-tolerance policy of enforcing existing immigration law resulted in approximately 2,000 minors being separated from their parents. To end this, Trump signed Executive Order 13841 on June 25th, ordering that detained families not be separated unless the parents pose a danger to the child, while the Trump administration pledged to reunite separated families. The fact check: 2 days after Purcell's tweet, AP published the article, "Not Real News, Obama Didn't Separate 90,000 Migrant Families," conflating the separated family narrative with the children in cages narrative, while pointing to a conservative website, which they don't link to, as the source of the claim. The claim published on a conservative website was repeated on social media throughout the week as President Donald Trump faced criticism over his administration's zero-tolerance immigration policy. What website? Who said that? The false claim appears to stem from a January 2016 Senate subcommittee report that investigated how Department of Health and Human Services under the Obama administration placed thousands of unaccompanied children illegally entering the country. The subcommittee report found that from October 2013 through 2015, the federal agency placed nearly 90,000 children with a sponsor after they were detained at the border without a legal guardian. The majority of those sponsors, the report found, were a parent or legal guardian living in the country. Note how AP simply says that 90,000 children were placed with a sponsor. Unfortunately, they're missing a giant link in that chain. The detention centers the kids are placed in first. Taking a look at the Senate subcommittee report, AP references page 8. Since the thrust of the left's outrage over Trump's zero-tolerance policy was originally poor migrant children being forced into cages. First, we have the 90,000 under Obama figure, but there's a footnote. Then the report notes that the majority of unaccompanied children over that 2-year period were placed with a parent or legal guardian. Since the beginning of the FY 2014, HHS has passed almost 90,000 UACs with sponsors in the United States, according to HHS, and it places the majority of those UACs with the child's parent or legal guardian. Now let's look at the footnote 31 attached to the 90,000 figure, which directs us to an Office of the Refugee Resettlement publication entitled "Unaccompanied Children Released to Sponsored by State." Navigating over to that document on page 2, we find a section A which outlines cases in which a determinant of UAC status has already been made. It's got a footnote too. Asylum offices will see evidence of these prior UAC determinations in a file or in systems on the Form I-213 record of deportable alien, the Form 93 CBP UAC screening form, the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Refugee Resettlement ORR Initial Placement Form 1. And what do we find under the OOR footnote 1? After apprehending an individual and determining that he or she is a UAC, CBP, or ICE transfer, him or her to a facility run by the Office of Refugee Resettlements, which is part of the Department of Human Services. In other words, all of the unaccompanied minors detained under the Obama administration were locked up in the exact same facilities that Trump administration is using currently. Digging some more, we find a February 2016 report from the Government Accountability Office entitled Unaccompanied Children HHS Can Take Further Actions to Monitor Their Care. In fiscal year 2014, nearly 57,500 children traveling without their parents or guardians referred to as unaccompanied children were apprehended by federal immigration officers and transferred to the care of the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Refugee Resettlement. Most of these children were from the Central America. So tens of thousands of unaccompanied minors were taken in by the Obama administration each year and placed in government facilities. Average stay? In 2011, the average stay of the unaccompanied minor in an Obama admin facility was 72 days, which dropped to 34 days in 2015. How about today? In 2016, the average stay was 41 days, while the Department of Health and Human Services Unaccompanied Alien Children Program fact sheet from June 15 states. Currently, the average length of stay for UAC in the program is approximately 57 days, so in 2011, precious children remained in Obama's concentration camps, as the left now calls them, an average of 15 days longer than today. Where are most UACs released? In 2014, most unaccompanied minors were released in Los Angeles, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach counties. Counties which took in fewer than 50 UACs are not noted on the map. In fiscal year 2014, OOR released a total of 53,518 children to sponsor, and these children were released in every state except one. The largest number of children were placed in Texas, New York, California, Florida, and Washington, D.C. area, respectively, with County, Texas, receiving 4,028 children in the fiscal year of 2014, more children than any other single county. Often children were placed in counties with large Latino populations. So to be clear, hundreds of thousands of migrant children whose parents sent them into the United States alone or with a human trafficker remained in Obama administration facilities for up to months at a time before eventually release or repatriation. In fact, if one adds up just the unaccompanied minors taken into custody between 2008 to 2016, nearly 300,000 children were placed in federal housing under Obama. And as Brad Parcell points out, no one cared. Finally, to clarify what we the people are supposed to believe. I mean, this report right here completely blows the liberals' theory and ideology about what Trump's doing with separating children just completely out the water, doesn't it? How hypocritical is it for you to all of a sudden just now care about it? How convenient, right? Why is stuff like this so common now? It's really disgusting when you see people that actually don't have any real moral values or beliefs. They don't stand to what they actually really believe in anymore. They're going to just follow what their leader tells them to do. And so as we're seeing hundreds of thousands of people just all of a sudden caring about families and stuff being separated out of the woodwork, just all of a sudden, the realization should start to hit that these people really never cared about families being separated to begin with. Because if they did, they would have been doing what they're doing right now when Obama was the president. And that's all I have to say. I mean, it's really that blatantly obvious. And it proves their cosmopolitan bias that they have on the whole entire subject. The only thing that they're really outraged about is the fact that Donald Trump is still the president of the United States. There has been smear campaign after smear campaign after smear campaign, just left and right. And all these mainstream media networks out there that's crying wolf are losing tons and tons of viewers every single day because people are starting to realize that it's all a lie.
The rise of socialism has never been more clear. Right now in America, there are forces dug in, organized, and well-funded, doing whatever is necessary to make socialism happen. Today's demonstrations are part of an ongoing step-by-step agenda to change our country at its very core. They demand the abolition of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and the zero-tolerance policy of the Trump administration.
I think we need to abolish ICE. That seems really clear. They have strayed so far from the interests of the American people and the interests of humanity.
Cynthia, are you stupid? I know as an actress you're used to saying what's on the script, and this government thing is new to you. But strayed so far from the interest of the American people? The whole point of ICE is to protect the American people from illegals who would do us harm physically and financially. And listen to this one.
ICE isn't doing what it was created to do. It's being used as his own personal police force, and in those actions, it's actually making us less safe.
ICE isn't doing what it was created to do? ICE is doing exactly what it was created to do. Are you stupid too? And the president is using it as his own police force? When ICE was doing its job in 2009 to 2016, was it Obama's police force? And you think ICE is making us less safe? I've got two words for you. Kate Steinle. A primer. For all you geniuses out there, ICE does not separate children and parents at the border. Border Patrol does that. And if you abolish ICE, who arrests the drug dealers and the coyotes coming across our border in droves, delivering 80% of the narcotics and 90% of the heroin here? And pray tell, who deports the illegal who committed rape when he finishes his jail time? Should we just let bygones be bygones and throw down the welcome mat to the local YMCA, give him his food stamps, and call it a day? You don't want them deported? Maybe they ought to come live with you. And Kirsten Gillibrand, a United States senator who has ambition to run for president in 2020, says,
we should protect families that need our help, and that is not what ICE is doing today, and that's why I believe you should get rid of it, start over, reimagine it, and build something that actually works.
Why is it that whenever a Democrat doesn't want to follow the law, they say it's broken? The immigration system is broken. ICE is broken. How about I say the tax system is broken, and we don't then have to pay our taxes and we can go suck another capitalist country dry. That way, none of us have to pay taxes. The truth? Americans want the immigration laws enforced. Even 60% of the Democrats want that. Those laws protect jobs. And the more people who come in, especially the poor ones, the more taxes we pay for their education, medication, housing, and social services. And when we don't know who's coming in, we cannot screen for gangs and drug dealing operatives. Not to mention, none of this is fair to those immigrants who played by the rules. The narrative of today's protest is backwards. Those marching object to adults who cross the border being separated from their children. It happened even before Trump was president. No one cared, objected, or protested. Trump issues an executive order to end the family separations, and yet they still march. So what's going on? The overarching message is that illegals, people who do not respect our laws, are entitled to everything that we Americans are. That they're being wronged by Americans if we don't share our wealth, our capitalist success, and our way of life with them. This, my friends, is socialism. Like the Women's March, these anti-Trump protests are extremely well organized, and they are more than political. They are ideological. We are witnessing the evolution of a socialist coup. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, take it from their mouths.
You're wrong. We will make your system fall. You're wrong. You're wrong. We will make your system fall. You're wrong. We will make your system fall.
Did you hear it? F your borders, F your walls. We will make your system fall. This week's primary win by a 28-year-old socialist congressional candidate who took down a well-funded long-term New York congressman is about more than one district. And although Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez deserves credit for working hard, she won with the assistance of the Democratic Socialists of America. And don't forget, a little-known socialist from Vermont would have been the Democratic candidate for president in 2016, but for the Hillary Clinton corruption of the Democratic National Committee. And make no mistake, folks, socialists are beginning to win elections at the state and national level, defeating even long-term incumbents. And expect more hard-left Democratic candidates to run. You know, even Obama's cradle-to-grave fictional ad called The Life of Julia suggests an anti-capitalist socialist framework. And for those of you who need reminding, socialism doesn't work. The crushing poverty and violence in Venezuela is just the latest example. According to the Wall Street Journal, people go through garbage bags full of rubbish to take whatever they can and then try to sell the empty bags. Socialism, when private property and the distribution of income is subject to state control, hasn't worked out very well in Sweden either. National health care, far from what they promised. Pregnant mothers are turned away from maternity wards because of overcrowding, causing women to give birth on the street. Socialists have or want what you have. I, for one, work hard, pay taxes, believe in capitalism, and have no plan to move to Venezuela or Sweden. One of my heroes, Margaret Thatcher, put it best when she said, "The trouble with socialism is that eventually you run out of other people's money."
Judge Jeanine is always on a roll. And there's still a rumor going around that she may be the upcoming AG, which would be really awesome to see. And I believe it would be a guarantee to see Hillary and everybody go down if she was the AG. So there's definitely some exciting stuff coming up in the future here. And what do you guys think about all this? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Please subscribe to our channel, like our video, and comment below, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace!
And don't forget to click the notification bell.